So, Sherry Madera, thank you for spending some time with us. You are part of this massively important and really quite significant initiative, the Sustainable Alliance. Can you just tell me a little bit more about that?
Well, I feel like we're doing our small part in a very big challenge that's out there for all of us. We are delighted that we're part of a coalition of the willing that has launched today the Future of Sustainable Data Alliance. And the purpose of this is to really think about what data do we need, not only now, but also in the future. We know that 90% of the world's data has actually been compiled in the last 2 years. And if you think about that rate of change, that rate of growth in all data, you can understand that in the next 2 to 5 years, we may be using different data sets than we have today. So it's really important to ask global investors, what's their wish list? What do they need? How is it that they're actually going to meet the obligations that they have to be able to address climate change?
Tell me, what kind of organisations are part of this coalition of the willing?
Well, we're delighted that we've got the WEF, the World Economic Forum, perfect for announcing here in Davos, the International Institute of Finance. We're working with the UN. We're working with a group called OMFIF, who are convening central bankers on this topic. ASIFMA, who's based out of Hong Kong to ensure that we've got the Asian perspective, and Tsinghua University. So we have a number of other supporters, but these are sort of some of our key stakeholders on day one.
So it's truly global and very broad.
It's incredibly important to make sure that we've got a global perspective. If we're thinking about sort of the data that's going into decision making, it's a bit different when you're thinking about how that is impacting Asia versus Africa versus Latin America versus some of the mature markets. So we do need to have our partners be able to dig into those marketplaces with us and be able to sort of really get to the bottom of where that data is needed.
And how is this an actionable response to the crisis that we now find ourselves in?
I think it's really, really important to make sure that we've got the right data. And it's not only for the industry to consider, it's not only for investors to use, it's also for policymakers to understand what it is that they can track. How do you create a benchmark on what is good or what is good enough? How is it that you can be able to track the transition as well as the absolute carbon numbers, or indeed where we're going with this is thinking about nature and biodiversity. How does that impact investment making decisions? And being able to share the data sets that are not only now but our wish lists for the future can help policymakers and regulators regulate for tomorrow, not just for today.
So the data is part of holding people accountable and making sure that the change happens.
Absolutely. We see our output as the input into many, many initiatives so that they can really understand what data is available today, what work needs to be done to make sure that those data sets are complete, that they're coherent, and that they're comparable, but also to think about what we need to go and see as an industry to be able to deliver data for the future.
Now, just to be kind of difficult here, there are a lot of initiatives around data and the environment at the moment and sustainability. How is this one different?
Yeah, there are a lot of acronyms, and I think a lot more have even sprung up this week here at the World Economic Forum in Davos.
Yes.
So we see our initiative as being a contributor to all of the others. If we're focused completely on data and understanding how it is that we can deliver great decision-ready data into the investment community, that's a unique space that we think is important in order for all the other coalitions to build what it is possible for them to achieve over a timeline that's reasonable.
So you're a facilitator as much as anything else?
Yeah, I think we're a contributor. I mean, if we focus on what we're contributing, I think that we can lift all boats and be able to then step away and join other coalitions as well. You know, I think that there's a period of explosion in terms of thinking about this, but it should be followed by a period of consolidation. And for us, we see this as a moment in time, that this piece of information is needed for the global community, at which point then we hope that we can coalesce around some of those bigger initiatives.
Sherry, thank you so much. I mean, we're at the beginning of an amazing journey for the Alliance and Refinitiv, and I wish you every success.
Thank you very much. Looking forward to having everyone join us.